Alright, let's dive into something that's got the automotive world buzzing. And personally, I think this is one of those stories that's way more fascinating than it seems at first glance. So here's the deal. There's a new player in the supercar game, and it's not just another flashy concept. Peregryn Automotive is taking the ultimate kit car design, moving production to the US, and turning it into something they claim can go toe-to-toe with the Corvette ZR1. Bold move, right? But what makes this really interesting is the approach they're taking, and the trade-offs they're asking buyers to consider. First off, let's talk about the car itself. The Peregryn GT-R is a mid-engine V8, powered beast targeting around 700 horsepower. Sounds impressive, but here's the kicker. It's not about raw power alone. Peregryn is leaning hard into the power-to-weight ratio, claiming a dry weight of just 2,100 pounds. If you take a step back and think about it, that's where things get intriguing. The Corvette ZR1, with its twin-turbocharged LT7 V8, is a monster in its own right, but it's also a lot more car. Heavier, more complex, and arguably more polished. The GT-R, on the other hand, is positioning itself as the raw, stripped-down alternative. It's like comparing a precision scalpel to a sledgehammer. Both effective, but for very different reasons. What many people don't realize is that this isn't just about speed. Yes, Peregryn is throwing around numbers like a 2.2 second 0 to 60 time, which is insane, but that's not the whole story. In my opinion, the real pitch here is the driving experience. The GT-R is going for an analog feel, a sequential gearbox, minimal frills, and a focus on the driver. It's not trying to be a high-tech marvel like the Corvette. It's aiming for something more visceral, more connected. If you're the kind of person who values that kind of purity, this car could be a dream come true. But here's the catch. It's also a small batch build, with a starting price of $195,000 and no factory warranty. That's a big ask, especially when you consider the resale value and long-term support. From my perspective, this raises a deeper question. Who is this car really for? It's not a daily driver, it's not a status symbol, and it's definitely not for someone who wants a turnkey supercar. This is for the enthusiast who wants to tinker, who values the experience over the specs, and who's willing to sacrifice some comfort for that raw, unfiltered connection to the road. Personally, I think that's a niche that's been underserved in recent years, with so many supercars leaning into luxury and tech. The GT-R feels like a throwback in the best way. A reminder of what driving can be when you strip away the distractions. But let's not kid ourselves. This is a risky play. Peregryn is betting that there are enough buyers out there who care more about the driving experience than the badge or the warranty. And with first deliveries not expected until 2027, there's a lot of time for things to change. A detail I find fascinating is how they're positioning this car against the Corvette ZR1. It's not a direct competitor, it's more of a philosophical alternative. The ZR1 is about pushing the limits of technology and performance, while the GT-R is about celebrating simplicity and engagement. What this really suggests is that there's room in the market for both approaches, but it's going to come down to execution. If Peregryn can deliver on those 2.2 second 0 to 60 promises, keep the weight down, and ensure the build quality is there, this could be a game changer for a certain kind of buyer. But if they miss the mark, it could just be another footnote in automotive history. One thing that immediately stands out is how much this car is asking of its buyers. Not just financially, but in terms of commitment. This isn't a car you buy on a whim. It's a car you buy because you believe in the vision. And that, to me, is what makes this story so compelling. So what do you think? Is the Peregryn GT-R a genius move or a risky gamble? Would you trade the polish of a Corvette for the raw experience of this car? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to hear your take. Because if you ask me, this is more than just a new supercar. It's a statement about what driving means in an era of autonomy and tech overload. And that, my friends, is a conversation worth having.